you're probably only going to get 15, maybe 10, 8 seconds of it. You're not getting the buildup. So I think with all this short form content that's rolling out, the problem with it is so many people are being fed with this short form content every single day, everywhere you look on social media, that, you get these officer involved shootings and you're only going to get a blip of it. And whatever you see is going to be your reality. So, they say like, hey, perception is reality. And that's not necessarily true, but it is going to be your reality. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you come across a shooting, which they like to post, and you're like, holy shit, that didn't look good.
It's also compounded by the media too, because there are all multi-layered buildups to all of the shootings that occur.
Yeah. And
the context is completely stripped away, and usually it's just, the bang bang 5 to 10 seconds where, in a lot of situations, I'm sure it's justified. There are a few where it looks like even with the context, it was unjustified. But either way, the full context is not being shown because of the nature of how information is shared, whether it's on, mainstream corporatized media or something like TikTok and Instagram, where people just see the 5 seconds before the shooting, and then 5 seconds after, where if you watch the 10-minute video, you would see that there was entire buildup to it. Maybe the guy had a weapon, like you said, from another angle that you couldn't see in the video that's going viral. Maybe there was another person outside of the camera angle that was aggressing the cops that was affecting the situation. Like there's so much context that doesn't get shared. And I think the worst part is that it seems very intentional with the way these videos are edited together sometimes, that it's made to emotionally instigate the public to have a certain view of cops, when those people in the room know what they're doing. They can see, they see the whole 20-minute video and they're giving someone orders to cut it down, make it look like this, make it look like that. And then boom, they share it. And then someone, that's working a full-time job doesn't have time to watch the whole video. So they just see it, come up on Instagram or CNN or whatever. And they're like, oh, that's so fucked up. Like, I can't believe the cops would do that. And then every single shooting looks like that. And then what I started to do is go on YouTube, look at the dash cam footage and actually see the buildup that happens to it. And it does really change your perspective on a lot of the shootings that have gone viral.
Yeah, it's funny. So like, I don't know, you would probably appreciate this because you have a YouTube channel and do content creating and stuff. And I was just listening to a podcast actually today before I came in here. And in 2023, it's all about short form content. That's what the consumer wants. That's what TikTok, YouTube's pushing out with YouTube Shorts and all this stuff. Is the consumer or the viewer wants short content. And so that's what people are pushing out now. That's what media is pushing out. That's what social media platforms are pushing out, is this short form content. And so when you take a shooting, you're probably only going to get 15, maybe 10, 8 seconds of it. You're not getting the buildup. So you just said you yourself have to go back and watch the full buildup of it. How often do you think people are really doing that?
Not a lot. You got to take it upon yourself.
Not a whole lot. Yeah. So I think with all this short form content that's rolling out, which is important obviously for people like you and I to build our brand up, to latch onto, but the problem with it is so many people are being fed with this short form content every single day, everywhere you look on social media, that, you get these officer involved shootings and you're only going to get a blip of it. And whatever you see is going to be your reality. So, they say like, hey, perception is reality, and that's not necessarily true, but it is going to be your reality. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you come across a shooting, which they like to post, and you're like, holy shit, that didn't look good. And then that's all you're going to get, So then now you're automatically assuming that it's bad. And then, and then next thing you know, you're going to see a rally posted for said shooting. And you're like, well, I'm going to go to, it just kind of fuels the fire a little bit. And like you said, man, like, yeah, people intentionally do stuff like that because it's going to build their narrative. It's going to, get people to watch their media platform, whoever that is. And if that's a hot topic, then like they're going to build on that because that's what their job is. And that's going to get views. It's all about views. So, dude, I think now more than ever, cops just have to be utterly careful and concise about what they do, how they speak to people, actions that they take at work. Sometimes you got to just walk away from stuff. Like, even if it's, you know, this whole contempt of cop attitude thing, it's going to start to get a lot of cops in trouble, you know? This whole attitude of like, well, you have to do it because I'm the police. Well, not necessarily, not in today's day and age. Like, there's a lot of times where we're walking away from shit that we would never walk away from before, for everything that we're talking about right now, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it.
Have you noticed cops walking around differently in the era of social media where everything is filmed, whether it's a traffic stop or you stop someone on the street? Have you noticed behavioral changes in the way that cops go about things?
Oh yeah. I see cops going out of their way to be extra, just to sound extra nice, you know, because they know that they're being filmed. A lot of times you pull people over and they're recording you on their phone, or they'll put you on Instagram. I've had people throw me on Instagram Live.
Yeah, I've seen that. Instagram, like, Facebook Live, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been tossed on that during a contact, and it's like, I'm always like, okay, that's fine, you can do that, whatever. But I'm also recording. I have a body cam, so we're recording.
Do you say shout out Shots Fired podcast into the camera? Like, Jay, follow. No. You should start doing that. Be like, yo, thank you for this opportunity. I just want to shout out to my podcast, my co-hosts.
Yeah, no, I don't. I try to. Yeah, at work, I don't even acknowledge. You know, I try to keep that obviously separate from the crowd, which is funny because it's like people are like, "Oh man, you're like really putting yourself out there," and I'm like, you know, at first I was pretty nervous about it, but now, I don't know. I think we had talked about it when we were recording last, but you know, cops can't hide in the shadows all the time. Like, if people don't know what we do and the type of people that we are, like, how does anybody else have anything to go off of other than what they're going to see on social media or the news? Like, we do have to kind of put ourselves out there a little bit now and stop hiding in the shadows and just be real with people and show people that we have personalities. And look, the thing is with our podcast is it's all about, like, we're trying to educate other police officers so that they don't make bad decisions, to put themselves in a situation to either treat you poorly, make a bad choice, you know, all of those things. So I don't know. That's what we're about.
Yeah. But, and we're lucky this day and age that, you know, perspective is reality. And it used to be that the corporate media had a stranglehold on that perspective, but now independent platforms can come along and record podcasts, record videos. You don't just have to sit back and throw your hands up and go, well, but I guess this is how the world's going to see me. You can do what you're doing and be authentic, talk about your experiences, what you've done right, what you've done wrong, what you see going on in the industry that you're a part of. And people are starting to gravitate towards those independent first-person point of views rather than seeing it filtered through 20 different, you know, corporate layers to get to a mainstream story. And you just want to hear it straight from the source of the person that went through it.
Yeah, it's amazing what YouTube and social media has evolved into. And dude, you're right. You can literally be your own voice and own your own business and have it all on a free platform like YouTube and you know, podcasting and social media. And what's crazy is you're starting to see a lot of police departments actually doing this on social media. So they're having camera crews or officers, they're training officers how to operate cameras as part of like a recruiting incentive, or just to show like, hey, this is what we do. And they're riding around with cops and they're making these cool little videos. I don't know if you've seen them, but and they're putting them together and then they're putting them on social media or even on YouTube now. Some departments are starting their own YouTube channels and they're kind of expressing themselves as a department and putting it out there on like on content. So it's evolving for sure. It'd be interesting to see in 5 years, you know, where that goes. But, you know, people like you and I that do have YouTube channels, like think about what that does for you, you know, and the people that you've got to interact with and speak to, and probably places that you've traveled to, you know, all as a result of being able to produce your own content, do what you want, and then throw it on a platform like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I think people with certain niches are starting to realize what it can bring them, and they're kind of like evolving their own businesses, on their own through content creation.
And I have seen some of those videos, the videos on your channel and videos that are day in the life of a cop patrolling XYZ area, where you just see like a lot of the you probably assume that a lot of the tedious things that you do throughout the day aren't super interesting because you do them every single day. But for someone like me who's watching a day in the life video of a cop that never sees it at all, it's super engaging content. So I'm glad that sort of stuff is out there.
Yeah, I'm glad too. And hey, like I said, man, like I do think there's a fine line where like some of these cops on TikTok, you know, I personally think they're crossing the line, and it's like, okay, now you're kind of being unprofessional, and you're actually not doing us as a law enforcement community any favors. I do think that there is that line, and some people do cross it. You know, at the end of the day, we are professionals and we are public servants, you know, and that's what we signed up to do. And so I think you still have to behave within those boundaries. But I do think it's cool that more and more people or agencies are starting to get on board with what you're talking about and just show people like what we do every day. And like, yeah, like you said, we may think it's boring, but it's almost like you're getting to do a virtual ride along.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just imagining a cop that takes it way too far on TikTok, where he busts into someone's home. Someone starts shooting at him, and then he tells the shooter, he's like, whoa, can you back up a little bit? The lighting's not great where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like, come in, let's roll this back, do it again. Like, come in this way and then shoot at me. Okay, I'm going to go back out and come in. All right, break.
Yeah, let's get some sweet B-roll.
Yeah. The guy's probably like, what the fuck?
Dude, yeah. You never know. Maybe a new generation cop might do that.
Exactly.
He's all, shit, all right, you gonna get my good side?
He's like, all right, if this is gonna be on the news, like I want my fucking good side to be on the TikTok.